Don't worry. I'm a professional.
Photography has the power to...
Good photography has the power.
The power to undo your assumptions about the world.
Change your perspective on life.
And surprise people with something that they had no idea existed.
Inspire, horrify.
Stop time for a moment.
It is an incredible passport to people's lives.
Images are so powerful that they can change the course of people's lives. They can change the course of history.
Photography can change the world.
We've all heard the cliche, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And while this cliche may be both tired and incredibly overused, there is still some truth and value to it. When you create a photograph, you are relying on images to do all the talking for you. As a photographer, this means that your photos need to illustrate a range of emotions that create a constructive story and include what's necessary to bring your story to life. A photograph can be an incredibly powerful delivery system for a personal message or sharing a story that can appeal to a global audience. Without words to accompany them, images are forced to stand on their own and deliver their message in a way that can be understood by anyone.
Photography has the power to change your perspective on life. It has the power to help you make decisions on the way you want to live your life. I've seen the way photography can make incredible change. When people see those photographs, I hope they are overcome with a sense of urgency. I hope that they are moved and can see themselves as a child in that situation, or their daughter or niece or someone else in that situation, that they want to do something and that they don't forget the photographs.
So what is a photograph? Photographs share stories, memories, and events throughout your life. Whether it be a first birthday, a family vacation, a night to remember, or a time with a special someone, photographs connect us. But a photograph can give you an instant look into another person's life. It's capturing moments in time, it's capturing pieces of history, and it tells a story.
I was always drawn to these close-up portraits because no matter what the circumstances, I would always walk away with a picture that I liked, that I felt was kind of a simple, straightforward, honest portrait. I always felt like it was the most essential, the most valid picture, something that was just all about the person and not about the clothes, not about the environment, not about their background, not giving any hints to their social status. And while I'm photographing them, I'm talking to them, I'm playing music, so I'm trying to make them laugh. And there's always these in-between moments that I'm trying to capture when it feels intimate, when they're not taking on any trained expression, when they're more raw, unexpected, when they kind of forget that they're being photographed for a moment.
A photographer's job is to capture the important moments of our time. For example, the conflicts of Afghanistan and Syria, social issues going on in Kenya, and most recently, the attacks in Paris and Brussels. But how can I present a powerful story just by looking at it?
I never ever think of myself as a war photographer. I think of myself as a photographer who covers issues surrounding war. So much happens on the periphery of war. It is like the most extreme of emotions and situations. People are deprived of so much. When I'm in a situation where someone's dying or about to die in front of me, the instinct is to try and save someone. When you're watching the life drain out of someone, you want to help. And I don't have those tools. And so for me, the first thing is always just feeling really horrible and sort of insufficient because I can't do anything. I have a voice as a photographer, and I can use that voice to provide a voice for so many other people. I can do this for the rest of my life.
At some point in your life, you've probably seen one of these very famous photos. That's one of the strengths of an image. They make you stop, look, and see the issues we face in our society. What we saw in each of these images changed us, changed the way we look at each other and the way we look at photography in general. Some photographs are effective because they're simple, others are complex, or are effective because the subject matter is compelling itself. As a photographer, you're trying to convey a story with images, not just the written word. You have to decide what kind of story you're trying to tell.
There are different levels to success as a photographer, in quotes. There's the aesthetic success, but there's the whole other side where does your work make an impact in the world? Does it educate? Does it change people's lives? Does it make a difference?
These are stories about people with no chance to get a better life. I want to introduce you to a girl named Aisha. In 2010, she was presented on the cover of Time magazine for her courageous and terrifying story of escaping Afghanistan. At a young age, she was married to a leader of the Taliban. Not too long after being married, she fled, going back to her family and seeking sanctuary from her abusive husband. Men soon arrived, taking back Aisha to her husband. They took her up to the mountains and punished her for running away. She was held down and had her ears and her nose cut off. Aisha was abandoned, but later rescued and taken to a shelter in Kabul, run by the aid organization Women for Afghan Women, where she was given treatment and psychological help. Today, after 12 reconstruction surgeries, both her ears and nose have been fully reconstructed, and is now living in America with an adopted Afghan family, learning to read and write in English.
Now I'm very happy. I see my ear, see my nose, the mirror. I'm very happy. I want to learn more English. I want to show the other people's, the women, the girls, the strong, the men.
Without this photograph, you would have never known Aisha's name or her story. We can be affected emotionally over situations such as this, but it's about preserving the memory and sharing it to the world. Photography is the strongest way to get a story across to others. It's a lot more visceral than text because a photograph is immediate. It's the first thing people look at.
Photography has the power to inspire, to horrify, to change your mind, to change your heart, to change your actions. It's really kept me interested and engaged in the world. People don't know how incredibly hard work it is and how much dedication and passion and persistence and stubbornness that you really need for this job.
Is there something that you love and that you would tell that story, whether someone was going to publish it or not, and that you can find out what stories that you can tell that nobody else can tell? That's a lot more important than being able to compose and find pretty light and do all the things that photographers do. You have to have something to say. Photography comes later, and it's always coming.
Photography can compel us to look at the issues that are potentially distressing and controversial. But photography isn't just about capturing the issues, but the solutions as well. I believe that photography can make a real connection to people and can be employed as a positive agent for understanding the challenges and opportunities facing our world today.
কারণ হলো যে আমি ছবি তুলি এই শহরের লোকেরা কিভাবে থাকে খায় দায় এরা রাস্তায় খায় রাস্তায় থাকে বেশিরভাগ লোকেরা গ্রামের লোকেরা একটা ছোট্ট ঘর মাটির তার মধ্যে তারা খেয়ে দিয়ে ওইটা থাকে আমাদের দেশে এমনি নোংরা কেউ আমাদের দেশের মধ্যে থাকে না আমাদের যেখানেই চপ্পল থাকে সেখানেই খাবারের বাসন কারণ অন্য কোনো দেশে আমি দেখিনি কিন্তু আমাদের দেশে এর জন্যই আমাকে ছবি ভালো লাগে যে মানুষের ব্যবহারটাকে বোঝাতে চাই আমি
Because photographs have such a rooted and far-reaching presence in our lives, we're often not aware of the ways that they shape and reflect cultural attitudes. How a subject is represented or not can make significant implications, and what we don't see is just as important as what we do. It's not only the ability to see things in more detail that commands our attention. It is something else. Something about the art of photography that forces us to examine the world as we don't normally do. These objects become ideas. Photographs can be translated to a universal language. The real heart of it is to make someone feel. There's that one thing in every photograph that you look at, and that one thing can tell so much about the story. It's the focus or essence of the story that pulls you in. You want to know more. You want to get to the root of the context that is in this photo. As a student, you learn and progress in your skills, and from there peel away the layers to find that one style of photography that is yours. For me, I am quite passionate about many different types of photography. I study all aspects, from landscapes to portraiture, sporting events, still life, and even a bit of surrealism. As a student, I am still on a learning curve to find my style. My photos have gotten me to travel all around the world and have gotten me to connect with such amazing people. I'm learning each and every day of my life to try and tell a story that conveys a powerful message to change the way we think in society, to change the way people are perceived. I believe in the power of photography to change lives, and I also believe that you can too.